And it's Andy Wyman at the double. Bristol City lead the seven-side derby, and Bristol City have won it. Martin slides away in celebration. Antoine Semenyo, take a bow. Sykes one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He gets his first Bristol City goal. Oh, goodness me, Andy Wyman.
Hello and welcome City fans to another midweek home match in the Championship on Robins TV, this time against Huddersfield Town. Manager Nigel Pearson and the players are off the team bus and are in Ashton Gate preparing for another match tonight, 7:45 p.m. kickoff. Now Bristol City head into this match 4 league games unbeaten and sit in 11th place. Whereas the Terriers are second from bottom, having only beaten Stoke this season. But back in the studio and joining me this evening, I have Academy Director Brian Tinian. Brian, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Looking forward to the game.
And what are your thoughts on the game?
I think it'll be a good game. I think if we play with the intensity we have against Luton and Cardiff, I think we'll have a really good chance of winning the game. If we're on the front foot, if we get after them, if we close them down and play in their half. I think we've got goals in the team, which we've showed, so hopefully for a positive start. And like you just said then, it's obvious that our goal scoring form is there, so it's making sure that we can essentially score more goals than well, I think if you keep a clean sheet at the moment in our team, I think you're guaranteed to win the game because we're going to score. So I'm sure Nigel will be looking to get that back door tightened up a little bit from the weekend where we've obviously conceded 3. But we had 2 clean sheets against Luton and Cardiff at home, so I'm sure we can be solid at the back and really exciting going forward.
Definitely. And do you think sometimes, you know, we're going to the end of the transfer period? Do you think sometimes once that's over, there's a little bit more of a settled period because everyone knows that potentially, hopefully, they're here and they're here to stay for a little bit longer, so you can crack on? Well,
I think it's ridiculous that the window's open up to September, to be honest, because how can people plan? How can you have your squad in place when somebody can be gone 6-7 games into the season? So it should be August the 1st when the season starts, to be honest, in my opinion. But we've got that over us. But I think the club is in a strong position where we don't need to sell. So I think, well, I hope, because I don't want to trip myself over here, but I'm hoping Antoine and Scotty and people like that will be here definitely tomorrow after the window's closed.
Well, we can look at tonight's team as well, so let's go over to our commentator, Toby Osborne.
Thanks very much, Louise. Team news is in from both sides. The optimism tonight inside Ashton Gate is palpable. Can Bristol City make it 3 wins in a row and 3 clean sheets in a row at home? Let's find out. Let's have a look at the Huddersfield Town side first of all. Schofield makes 3 changes from the team that gave away a 2-goal advantage on Saturday to West Brom. After signing a new long-term deal with the club, Tom Lees returns at the heart of a back 3 that includes summer signing and Japanese international Nakayama. 1 change in midfield with Hayden losing his place as wing-back. In comes Jonathan Hogg to replace him, which could push Rodoni further wide in that midfield. 4 in front of that sits Sorba Thomas and Chelsea Loney Anjorin, who bagged 2 goals against the Baggies on Saturday. And then the final change comes up front. Danny Ward is replaced by the veteran at this level, Jordan Rhodes, who is the Championship's 4th all-time top scorer. On the bench you can see Dwayne Holmes there alongside Danny Ward. As for Nigel Pearson, well, it's clear he trusts Mark Sykes immeasurably. He comes straight back into the 11 and is one of 2 changes. Williams drops to the bench with his fitness still being managed. The other switch sees the experience of Matty James coming in for Han Noah Masengo. And then that front 3 remains of Wyman, Wells and Tommy Conway. Can they keep up their prolific form? We will find out in just under half an hour's time. And then the bench is a fierce one as well. Martin Masengo, Williams and Semenyo among the possible replacements for the man that we will hear from just now. It's the boss, it's Nigel Pearson.
Nigel, back here where we've won our last 2 matches. Are you looking forward to this evening?
Yeah, very much so. But against a side who I think did really well last season, and yeah, they've had a few changes, but we'll need to be at our best tonight again.
got options. We've put Matty James and Mark Sykes in. Talk us through your selection.
It's always about trying to get the best side that we feel is the right selection for every game that we play. So Matt is one of our most intelligent and our best ball players. It's good that we've got him in the side. We've got we've got a strong bench too. Look, for me, it's about, with the group of players that we've got, is trying to select the right side for any game that we play. And I'm pleased with the group that we have. It's tight. Yeah, we don't have a great deal outside of the 18, 19, 20 that we have. But I'm really pleased with the players that we do have.
6 unbeaten. Really important to keep on building on that momentum.
I don't really think of it like that. It's more home game, let's win it again. So it's not about unbeaten, it's about winning the game. We've got an opportunity tonight against a side who have been, last time we played them here, they turned us over and went on a fantastic run from there. Whether that has relevance tonight is immaterial for me. It's more about the fact that this season we've done okay so far. We want 3 wins on the bounce at home, and that's really all it's about for me. It's about today.
All the best tonight.
Cheers. Thanks.
Well, we just heard from Nigel Pearson there. So what are your thoughts, Brian, on what he said? Unpick sort of what he was talking about there.
Well, I think he's right. What's gone in the past is finished. So this game's the most important. Whether you've lost the last 5 or won the last 6, it doesn't matter. It's this game that counts. So he's picked the team to play tonight that he thinks is best to beat Huddersfield. As he said, I think it's a really strong bench, and I think when you get Callas back and you've got Pringy out of there, and you've got some really good options in there. So I think he looks really happy, and at the training ground he looks happy with what he's got, and he's confident. I think we can come here tonight and get a really good result.
Is it fair to say that it's a team with energy? You know, that starting lineup, we've got some really young players in there, and like Toby said, the confidence to put Mark Sykes straight back in the team because he knows that, like you said, that's the best player for that starting 11.
There's lots of legs, there's lots of energy, and I think that has given us the results in the last few weeks. Teams have found it really hard to come here and play against us. Naki Wells is another one, with Tommy up front, who have really set the tone from the front, of going closing the opposition down and causing them major problems, and Andy Wyman behind that. So yeah, I think he's really settled, Nigel. I think he's really comfortable with that team tonight, and I'm fully expecting it to go and win. And
we've got Tommy Conway scoring goals. We've got Alex Scott providing and showing what he's got in the centre there. How good is it to have a academy system that works? And like we've sort of talked through the stats, academy system where we've probably got the most players out of a lot of teams starting. Well,
it's great because that's what the club's about and that's what the club wants. And ultimately, though, you need a manager who will play him. And fair play to Nige, he's come in. He's give Tommy Conway his debut. He's give Alex Scott. He's played Cam Pring. He give Eamon Belarus his debut. He's given Sam Bell the opportunity. So I think we've got a manager who believes in it, and that is now coming to fruition, to be honest, with some outstanding young players getting the opportunity to play in the Championship and excelling. So it's perfect all round.
Definitely. And how much are you enjoying seeing these players come through and actually show a massive maturity on the pitch? For, you know, with TC being 20 years of age, Alex Scott being 19, they're really young but old in the head almost.
Well, yeah, it's always about opportunity, and then when they get the opportunity, it's about taking it. And Tommy's been exceptional since he's been given the opportunity. He's scored goals, he's led the line, he's worked hard, and Alex Scott just oozes a bit of quality. So he's back in the centre tonight with Matty James, who's got the experience to help Alex in there. So I'm expecting big performances from them too tonight, and really looking forward to it. I think we look exciting going forward. We look as though we can score goals, and I think that's what the supporters want to see.
Exciting football and winning, of course. Well, from new players to old, Toby Osborne actually met up with another former City defender who is here tonight with the PFA. He spoke with Chris Honours.
Chris, your first time in the Legends Lounge tonight. What do you make of it? Have you seen some familiar faces?
Yeah, lovely to actually come here. I've heard all about it from other players, and this evening is my first experience of it, and I think it's done brilliantly. You know, I've managed to bumped into Scott Davison. I've seen Gary Hours, who I see regularly anyway, and a couple of my former heroes, Paul Cheesley and Jerry Sweeney. Jerry still keeps in touch with me via Facebook, and as a kid growing up, he used to coach me, and it's lovely to catch up with him again.
And it feels like a lovely initiative. Of course, your time at Bristol City, 77 games, 1 goal during that time as well. Fond memories of playing for Bristol City. Of course, you're still involved very much with the club as well.
Oh, fantastic memories. I mean, I'm a Bristol lad, very proud of being a Bristolian. My dream was always to play for Bristol City from 7 years of age. My grandfather used to bring me, as he used to live in Smythe Road, just behind the back of Holford's. An absolute privilege to represent the club. And now I'm doing this and speaking to you guys. It never leaves you. When people still remember you 40 years or 30 years after you've left, it's a great privilege. And I'm really looking forward to today's game and meeting a few more former players.
And it's a joy now having you on Robins TV with us. You're a regular. You were with us last season as well on a number of occasions. What did you make of Saturday? Heartbreaking in the end with the 3-3 draw with Blackpool, but again, there still seems to be promising signs, particularly with that core group of players that are really starting to prove their worth.
Well, the reason we were disappointed on Saturday was because we played so well, and in the last year it hasn't been the case. We've been struggling to hang on towards the back end of games. But on Saturday, we generally felt as if we deserved a little bit more. And it's always nice to do that with you and commentate and do all the rest of it. But, when you're actually walking out the ground and you felt as if you've lost 2 points rather than gained a point, it just goes to show how far we've actually come. And I think this season's going to be quite an exciting year. If we can get 3 points this evening, maybe move into the top 4 or 5. And, we never know what we can achieve this season.
And looking ahead to tonight, obviously Huddersfield down towards the bottom end of the league. Carlos Corberán moved on during the summer as well. Is it a case of Bristol City just shoring up, and it's avoiding those mistakes really that seem to be costing us at times?
It is. I mean, obviously mistakes cost points, but never underestimate any team in this division. I mean, whether you're playing against the bottom team or the top team, they are all very difficult. Huddersfield maybe overachieved last year, and the manager probably saw that, but I wouldn't underestimate Huddersfield this evening. I think they're going to be a tough nut to crack, and if Bristol City aren't on their game, they'll end up losing tonight. So hopefully they're well prepared. They play as well as they did at Blackpool, and hopefully we can come away with 3 points.
Well, you're off duty tonight, so you can enjoy the game. Chris, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
A great interview there by one of our PFA former players. But we've got plenty of action still to come and to chat about. But first, here's a break.
Might not wanna get close. We a little wild war, covered in tattoos. Run it up, taking all the views. Stepping on place, feeling the fear. I know you feeling it in the air. Whole squad wearing all black. Motivation's looking real bad. We bad to the bone, raising a fire alone. We ain't never needed nobody. Give me 6 feet, this is my party. Ain't got no feelings, we heartless. Take a peek inside the darkness. Blow up the spot, then we run it. Ready or not, here we coming.
When the red, red robin comes bobbing along.
The Robins, who this season have gone bobbing along right into the 2nd division of the English Football League.
The Robins.
If you've ever been to Ashton Gate in Bristol, you'll know that is the signature tune of Bristol City, the Robins.
So we've got all this outdoor space here, and it's perfect for companies to come in, whether they're small or large. So we cater for maybe a team of 12 or a team of 800. They can come here, have a really positive experience and be rewarded for all their hard work in the office or whatever industry they're from.
As we've got such a big company, a lot of us don't see each other.
Being able for the first time to get everyone out together in one place doing an activity together was great for team bonding and boosting that morale.
We can hone in on specific skills such as communication, leadership, teamwork, resilience. Here we've got a 400-metre military assault course, which is fantastic for team building. If you want a morale booster, this is the place to come.
Welcome back, Bristol City fans, to Robins TV. Tonight, the boys face off against Huddersfield Town. But first, let's have a look at a little bit more in depth on Andy Wyman. He has sat down and had a coffee with Toby and talked about getting through his ACL injury.
At the start of the season before last, of course, you had that horrible injury. What was that like when that first happened? And I'm interested as well because I think that season your contract was due to maybe expire, or at least there was sort of talk around it being extended. Is that something then during your recovery that's sort of playing on your mind a bit?
It was a weird one. I didn't think I did anything about it, to be honest, because there was an initial pain, but then it went, and then I tried to play on in the game. And yeah, I didn't see I didn't have a scan till Monday, so I played the game on Saturday, and I was walking around Bristol with the kids and went for dinner, and I thought, it can't be that bad because I'm walking, there's no swelling, there's nothing. I was carrying my daughter, who was at the time 2 years old, so it was all fine. And yeah, I came in Monday morning and the physio kind of they do this test for the cruise ship, and yeah, I just went, yeah, I'm not going to say the words he said, but I'm not, yeah, I think you've done your cruise ship. And I was like, what? I didn't believe it, and then went and had a scan, and the surgeon luckily was free straight away, and before we even got the scan results back, I went and seen him, and he looked at the knee and he went, yeah, that's your cruise ship. So yeah, it was a bit of a shock. I think I coped with it pretty well. The hardest bit, I would say, I've said before, was probably because we were still in COVID times. I needed to isolate before the operation, so I think I had my COVID test on the Friday morning, and then I had to isolate until Monday morning in the apartment.
Wow.
So basically I was 3 days just sitting by myself, knowing what's going to happen on Monday. So that was the hardest bit of it, I think, just waiting. Once I've had the operation, I think I was kind of, because I've never had a bad injury, I was kind of saying, I think I did an interview at the end of last season where I said, like, not enjoyed it, but I kind of always wanted the little steps forward, and I enjoyed the journey of like getting back to full fitness. And yeah, about my contract, I think yeah, I had an option year, which in the end the club didn't take, and we renegotiated. But yeah, it was it was out of my hand. It was, for me personally, I just had to get as fit and as strong and come back as quick and fit as possible, which I think I did. I think I was training after 5.5 months, so that was quite quick, I think, from a cruise ship. So yeah, it went perfect, really. I'd never had a setback, nothing, so yeah, I couldn't have wished for a better rehab, really.
And was that then the fittest you've probably been throughout your career? I noticed when Chris Martin, he had his injury layoff, sort of, well, probably maybe a bit after you, I'm not entirely sure, but he came back then, the following season was ripped, wasn't he? You know, he'd really got himself in top shape. I think Nigel Pearson had just arrived at that point. So were you sort of at the height of your fitness then, or was
I would say so, yeah, because, well, if you can tell now, I don't really go in the gym at the minute, weights. But yeah, obviously you're in the gym every day when you're injured, doing your leg weights, upper body. So yeah, I felt really good. I think what helped me was I trained the week before the season finished, and then, well, when the lads broke up, I was a fit player, so I had 6 weeks off as well. So by the time I came back, it was almost 8 months after surgery. So it wasn't like I had to join in mid-season and go straight into a game and try and rush it back. I had 6 weeks off, and then I came back pre-season a fit player, and that definitely helped me, I think, because as I said, I had nearly 8 months, and then I think it was a Celtic game in pre-season last year after 8.5 months post-surgery. So I think that definitely helped me, having the 6 weeks off, kind of reset and start again.
And then did you ever anticipate you'd have the season that you did last year? The trio up top of you, Chris Martin and Semenyo as well, in a side that struggled at times, but I guess as a forward three, you kind of pulled Bristol City through and out of difficult situations at times. Did you ever anticipate you'd have quite such a good season? Because it's by far and away your best personally.
No. When I first obviously started pre-season, I didn't know how I'd react. Obviously, just playing a game. Not even just the goals. I think I only missed about 20 minutes of Championship football all season. So even that, after coming back from a cruciate, I didn't expect. The goals, it just kind of, I think it was more, to be fair, after Christmas, it just kind of, just took off. I think all of us we clicked, and it just, every game, it was either me scoring, Antoine or Chris. You almost went into the game knowing we're going to score, so it felt good. It was a good feeling, and we didn't perform as a team, as a whole, as we wanted to, as high up the table as we wanted to, but personally, it's my best season ever.
Brian, that's a really interesting sort of topic. So we don't often talk about what it takes to come through an injury, and especially in your line with the younger players. How do you help those players come through injury, which usually is inevitable in the game?
Yeah, Eamon Benarous has had the same injury at the end of last season, so he's been talking to Andy quite a lot and trying to take the positives in what you can do while you're out. So as Andy said, he's not the best in the gym, but he looks quite well there, to be honest. So can we get Eamon Benarous in the gym and make him stronger? And he's upper body, he's only 18, so it's taken the pluses from a really difficult time, to be honest. And Andy Wyman's an inspiration for our young players. I think the way he trains, the way he plays, I think when all our young players go and train with the first team, and you talk to them after and say how, and they always pick him as the one who trains properly, the one who does everything right. So real good person to look up to for all our young players in the academy, Andy Wyman.
And he came out of injury, and like you said there, had an amazing season. And we've kind of seen similar to the start of Semenyo's come back in, and look, he's come off the bench twice and scored.
It's what you take from being out. I think that's the key. You can feel sorry for yourself, you can get yourself a bit down, or you can get yourself as fit as you can possibly be to perform when you get the opportunity to come back. And Antoine looks the same. He did it last season when he come back. Antoine, he's done it again. He looked really good at Wickham, really good when he come on again on Saturday. So it's that football, I think, has got a perception that it's quite easy and it's an easy way of life, but there's a lot of mental things you have to be strong with, and Andy's a good example of that, and I'm really looking forward for Eamon. I had a good chat with him the other day, Eamon, and he I think will come through it in a positive manner like Andy has. So it's all about the mental strength, and are you strong enough to deal with when you have a setback in your career. And
how do you keep that sharpness, especially when you're out for such a long time?
Well, I think it helps, we've got a £17.5 million training ground with every facility. You know, we've got a swimming pool, we've got the lot, so if you can't be motivated to come in and keep yourself ready to get back and play in the Championship, then you probably shouldn't be at the football club. So we've got everything. We've got the staff and the facilities to come back, and if you've got the mindset to work hard, be fitter and stronger than ever.
Unfortunately though, sometimes getting an injury means that your career has to come to a close, and obviously we saw that with Nathan Baker after he couldn't quite recover from last year's head injury. Do you have any words about him and the years that he had at the club?
It must be so difficult for him because he's a great lad, another one who trains brilliantly, really good about the place. You know, when I went in and helped Dean Holden a little bit when Lee Johnson left, I spent quite a time with Bakes, and great character. He'll miss it badly, and it's difficult to try and tell someone who's had that experience and had the knocks he's had to have to finish the game. It's so difficult, but as I said in a tweet the other day, if he wants to come and coach the young lads and in defending and how to defend and how to be tough, then he's welcome any time for sure.
Do you think it's actually quite brave coming out and going, actually, you know, because we don't talk too much about head injuries either, but that's sort of an unseen injury.
Yeah. Well, his long-term health's more important. You know, he's got a family to look after, so I think it is the right decision. Obviously a really difficult one for him and his family, but we wish him real luck in his future. And as I say, if he wants to be a coach, then we're certainly open to that, for him to come and help the young players, definitely.
Very well said, Brian. Well, is it that point where we say goodbye to those of you watching Robins TV on the free pre-match stream on Facebook?